Hi, today's offering is a hips and hamstrings sequence for you. I hope you enjoy. We're going to start at the top of our mat, grounding down through both feet, finding your centre of gravity, pressing down through the feet, feeling the energy moving up your legs, spiralling the thighs in and up, tucking the tailbone under, lengthening the spine, rolling the shoulders back and down and reaching up through the crown of your head. Taking a breath in, reaching the arms up, diving forwards off your hips, placing the hands towards the floor, crown of the head towards the floor. Taking a breath in, placing the hands on the shins, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, forward fold. Taking a breath in, reaching up. And as you exhale, forward fold. This time stepping back with your right leg, placing the knee on the floor, untucking the toes, sweeping the arms up, gaze is upwards, hips are sinking towards your front heel but not collapsing, reaching the hands forwards to the floor, tucking the toes under, downward facing dog. Have a little pedal out here, swaying the hips, gently shaking the head, loosening everything up, and then walk the feet towards the hands. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, diving forwards off your hips, stepping back with your left leg, knee to the floor, untuck the toes, sweep the arms in as you take a breath in, gazing upwards at your hands. As you exhale, place the hands on the floor, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. This time coming up onto all 10 toes, taking a breath in. And as you exhale, lowering the heels behind the toes, lifting the tailbone up and back. Walking the feet towards the hands, taking a breath in, reaching up, exhaling, diving into Uttanasana, forward fold. Stepping back with the right leg, knee to the floor, untuck the toes, peeling back, toes to the ceiling for a nice hamstring stretch. Coming forwards, sweeping the arms up. Are those hips feeling any looser yet? Placing the hands on the floor, tucking the back toe under, downward facing dog. This time knees to the floor, chest between the thumbs, hips are high, sliding through into a cobra. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Step the right foot between the hands. If it doesn't quite get there, give it a helping hand and step the left foot in. Breathing in, reaching up and diving forwards as you exhale. Stepping back with the left leg, knee to the floor, untuck the toes, peeling back for that hamstring stretch. Coming forwards, taking a breath in as you sweep your arms up and exhaling the hands to the floor, tucking the toes under, downward facing dog. Looking to your thumbs, stepping the left foot between your hands, bring your right foot with you, taking a breath in, reaching up. Exhaling, diving forwards, stepping back with the right leg, this time leaving your knee off the floor, sweeping the arms up into a high lunge. And then placing the hands on the floor, stepping back to downward facing dog. Lifting the right leg off the floor, bending the knee, opening the hip, letting that heel drop to the opposite hip. Looking at your thumbs, stepping that foot through between your hands. Bringing the left foot with you, reaching up, taking a breath in and exhaling, forward fold. Stepping back with the left leg, leaving the knee off the floor if possible, sweeping up into a high lunge. So pressing back through the back heel, gazes up at your hands, exhaling forwards, stepping back to downward facing dog. Shoulders are spread across the back, and then lifting the left leg, bending the knee, opening the hip, looking at the hands, stepping that foot between the hands, bringing the right foot with you, reaching up and exhaling, forward fold, stepping back with the right leg, sweeping up into your high lunge and bringing the arms down and back, so elbows wide into cactus, and then reaching back up, sweeping forwards and stepping back to plank pose. So if you're feeling more warmed up, you can go to chaturanga, or you can do knees, chest and chin as we did before. Chaturanga, leaning forwards, bending elbows close to ribs and rolling or stepping over your toes to either cobra or upward dog. To downward facing dog. Lifting your right leg, bending the knee, opening the hip, looking at the hands, stepping the foot through, bringing the left foot with you. Reaching up as you breathe in. Exhale, dive forwards. Stepping back with the left leg. Sweeping the arms up. Opening the elbows wide, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then reaching up, sweeping the hands forwards, stepping back to plank pose. So either knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga, upward dog or cobra. To downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg off the floor, bending the knee, opening the hip, looking at the hands, stepping the left foot through, bringing the right foot with you, reaching up, and this time coming to a chair pose. So hips are going down towards your heels, weight is towards the back of the heels, and feeling the warmth building in your back muscles. Then we're going to place the hands on the floor, forward fold, stepping back with your right foot, place the heel of your right foot on the floor and windmill the arms up into warrior two. Reverse your warrior, drop your right hand to the back of your right thigh and then coming forwards into your side angle pose. So you can have your arm reaching up to the ceiling, you can extend it over your head, and then come back to warrior two. Reverse your warrior, straighten that front leg, arms to shoulder height, gliding forwards towards those fingers, and then tilting at the hip into your triangle pose. Trying to keep the tailbone tucked underneath you, opening the chest as much as you can, and coming back up to warrior two. Reverse your warrior, straighten that front leg, turn the toes of your left foot forwards, hands to your hips, and fold forwards as you exhale. Hands to the floor. Crown of the head reaching towards the floor, tailbone lifted, coming up halfway as you breathe in. Then you're going to exhale your right arm up to the ceiling as you twist to the right. Inhale that arm back down, exhale the left arm up, gazes at the hand, the upper hand. if your neck doesn't mind it. Exhale that hand down, taking a breath in, and exhale the right hand up. Hand to the floor, exhale up, inhale down. Then reaching the arms wide, taking the weight forwards into the balls of your feet and reaching all the way up through your 5-pointed star. Hands to prayer. Turn your left foot forwards, coming back to warrior two. Windmill the hands forwards, stepping back to plank pose, and either knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga dandasana to upward dog, or cobra to downward facing dog. Lifting your right leg off the floor, bending at the knee, stepping that foot through between your hands, bring your left foot with you and come back to chair pose. From there, you're going to place the hands on the floor, you're going to lift the hips and you're going to step back with your left foot. Rotate the heel to the floor and windmill the hands up into warrior two on the other side. Reaching back for reversing your warrior, coming forwards into side angle pose. So coming back to warrior two, reverse your warrior, straighten that front leg, gliding forwards and tilting at the hip for your triangle pose. Coming back up to warrior two. You're going to reverse your warrior, straighten your front leg, turn your right foot forwards. I'm just going to turn the other way so you haven't got my back. Hands to hips, folding forwards and reaching the crown of the head towards the floor. Taking a breath in, coming up halfway. You're going to reach the hands round behind your back, link the fingers, open the shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades together at the back. Taking a breath in, and as you exhale, forward fold, lifting from the shoulders. See where you get to. Taking some nice deep breaths. Slowly coming back up halfway, rest the hands on the back. Reach the arms out wide, coming up through your 5-pointed star, turning your right foot back to the front of your mat, coming back to warrior two, hands to the floor, stepping back to plank pose. Chaturanga dandasana or knees, chest and chin, upward dog or cobra to downward facing dog. Knees to the floor and sit back to child's pose. Take some nice long breaths here. Hips reaching back to the heels, arms reaching long. Coming up over the top of cat, tucking the toes under, heels towards the floor, walking the feet in, crossing the ankles and coming down to a seated. Lengthen the spine, lift up and out of your hips, ribs away from hips, and you're going to bring your right leg in to your thigh, knee out to the side. If that's not comfortable, bring your knee lower, maybe even down to your ankle, or even cross your legs. So starting wherever you're comfortable, we're going to twist towards the bent knee first, placing your right hand behind you, left hand on the outside of your knee, exhaling through the twist. Inhaling back to the front. Twist your torso towards the shin of your stretched leg, reaching down that leg, seeing where you get to. Taking a breath in, moving away from the stretch, exhaling into the stretch. Inhaling away from the stretch, exhaling into the stretch. Third time, inhaling away. This time we're going to hold the stretch. So try not to pull yourself down with your hands. Use your abdominal muscles, your back muscles and gravity just to try and relax into that stretch. And then we're going to walk away from the stretch. Take that foot across your straight leg, reach your left arm up, wrap it around your bent knee, place your other hand behind you, and again exhale into the twist. Reaching the spine tall, shoulder away from ear, and coming back to the middle. Stretch that right leg out, bend the left leg in. So foot to calf or thigh. Twisting towards the bent knee first. Inhaling back, turning the chest towards that shin, walking down towards that foot, seeing where you get to. Taking a breath in away from the stretch, exhaling into the stretch, exhale away, inhale into, third time inhale away from, and this time we're going to hold as we exhale into the stretch. So again, trying to relax muscles that can relax. Not pulling ourselves down with our hands. And then walking the hands back up. Taking that left foot across over the right knee. Reaching the right hand up. Wrapping it over. And twisting round. Exhaling as you twist. Inhaling back to the centre. Both legs out straight, and we're going to reach up, looking up at the hands, ribs away from hips, and then we're going to fold gradually forwards and just see where the hands land. Relax into that stretch. Taking a breath in, coming away from the stretch, exhaling into. Breath in, away, exhaling into, breath in, third time, hold the stretch this time, still breathing. We're going to stay for 3 breaths, and then gently walk away. Place your hands behind your hips, point your toes, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open the chest and lift the hips up off the floor, maybe looking up at the ceiling, taking a nice deep breath in, fill those lungs and then exhale the hips back down to the floor. So we're going to come onto our backs, give our knees a hug. We're going to cross at the ankles. We're going to rock ourselves up to our feet. And we're going to take a breath in, all the way up to Tadasana. So, stepping the feet slightly wider than hip width apart, turning the toes very slightly out. Hands to prayer. We're going to start bending the knees, lowering the hips. Heels will pop off the floor, that's fine. Try and get the elbows to the inside of your knees, and then try lifting your torso as much as you can. And then seeing if you can get first one heel to the floor, then the other, and maybe, if you're lucky, both heels at once. So we're still trying to keep those knees open with our elbows, trying to keep our torso as upright as possible. And then we're going to take a breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to press back up. So we're going to try that once more, taking a breath in, and as we exhale, bending the knees, lowering the hips, keeping the torso as upright as possible, elbows to inside of knees, trying to encourage those heels down to the floor, trying to keep the chest as upright as possible. This is garland pose. Then taking a breath in, exhale, press down through the heels and standing up. Okay, from there we're going to wiggle the feet back together, and then we're going to take a breath in, and we're going to dive forwards, and we're going to step back with the right foot. So we're going to try and bring the back heel towards the floor while straightening that front leg for a pyramid pose. Should be feeling a stretch down your hamstring of the front leg, and perhaps a stretch for the calf muscle of your back leg. And you want to keep that left hip tucked in underneath you, don't let it stick out. And then we're going to step the right foot in, and we're going to step the left foot back. So it's about a large walking stride apart. Tucking that right hip underneath us, straightening both legs as much as we can, back heel towards the floor for pyramid pose. And then we're going to step that left foot in and step back to downward facing dog. Then you're going to lift the right leg up, bending the knee, opening the hip, step that right foot to the outside of your little finger and come forwards into lizard pose. So we're going to rock forwards and back. Forwards on your toes and back. Forwards and back. Then we're going to go side to side across our mat as if our hips were drawing a line across the mat. And then maybe you can bring one elbow to the floor, maybe you can bring both elbows to the floor. The idea is that you are dropping your shoulders, if you can, beneath where your knee is. Then we're going to walk the hands back in and up. Now with your right foot, you're going to fly that all the way up to three limb down dog, and then back to downward facing dog. Have a little pedal out, then lifting the left leg off the floor, bending the knee, opening the hip, bringing that foot outside of your little finger. So again, rocking forwards and back on your toes, and forwards and back, and then hips going across your mat. So both hip bones are pointing down at your mat, and it's as if you were drawing a line across your mat with your hips. Then maybe you can get one elbow to the floor, maybe you can get both elbows to the floor, and just take a couple of breaths here, trying to let your hips sink down towards the floor. Then walking the hands back in, placing them underneath where your shoulders are, and fly that left foot up and back for 3-limb down dog into downward facing dog. Then place the knees on the floor and come back to child's pose. Then we're going to come up over the top of cat into downward facing dog. You're going to lift your left leg off the floor, bend the knee, look at your hands, place that foot between your hands, walk your hands round to the centre of the side of your mat and turn that left foot forwards. From there, we're going to reach out and come up, bring your hands to prayer. So from there, you're going to bend your right knee and go down towards the back of your mat. You can place your fingertips on the floor to help you for support, and your left toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. So your hips are dropping as low as possible. Then you're going to take a little animal crawl across to the left side, right toes up towards the ceiling, dropping those hips as low as you can, and then we're going to come back to the first side and back to the second side. If you're feeling adventurous, you can bring your hands to prayer and see if you can do it without your hands on the floor. Last time. Okay, come back to the centre, place the hands on the floor, bringing the hands to the hips and slowly coming up to upright. Turn your left foot forwards, windmill the arms forwards and step back to a plank pose. Then, using as much of your body or as little of your body as you can, you're going to lower yourself to the floor. Untuck the toes. You're going to place your hands underneath your chin, lift the feet and just do a bit of window screen wiping, I call this. So sweeping the feet from one side to the other. Then stretch the legs out behind you. And then reaching round, place the palms upwards beside your body. You're going to take a breath in, and as you do so, your chest, your torso lifts up, and as you exhale, you lower the chin back down towards the floor. And then once more, lifting up as you inhale and exhale. This time we're going to stay up, so you're inhaling up, and then as you take your next inhale, you're going to lift the legs up off the floor. If you can lift the thighs off the floor, so much the better. So we're up high, and then as we exhale, everything slowly back down to the floor. Let's try that all at once this time. So as you inhale, chest and legs lifted for your locust pose, hands reaching back towards toes, and then exhale to the floor, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders and sit back to a child's pose. Coming up over the top of cat, let's round the spine up, drop the spine down, pose of the cow, once more, tucking the toes under, walking the feet in and coming to a seated position. So rolling the shoulders back and down, taking a nice deep breath in, and exhale, namaste. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed the workout. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Press the button. Thank you.